Many of you guys wonder why I'm so insistent about following a 1 meal a day diet. It's so important in the remyelination process of our nervous systems. So let me be clear. I call it a 1 meal a day diet, but in actuality, it's simply a 23-hour fast. Fasting cannot be overlooked in the multiple sclerosis situation. It's essential for remyelination. Hey, it's Dave. When people get scared when they hear the word fasting regarding food, I can sit here and talk until I'm blue in the face, trying to convince you of its massive benefits for remyelination, but it's up to you to start listening. It's a partnership with the other essential elements to activate remyelination. So you may ask, what's going on when we fast? Am I just talking with nothing to back up my reasoning? Well, no. I have a lot. I'm going to get into it. The only reason why I'm doing it is to prove a point. So during fasting, there's a molecule in our body called mTOR. It's not good for multiple sclerosis. But during fasting, its activity decreases while its opposite, called AMPK, increases. It's essential to get mTOR as low as possible for as long as possible. When our bodies are fasting, the levels of nutrients decline, but it's not a bad thing in the slightest. It triggers a decrease in mTOR activity. The same activity that is preventing our nervous system from remyelinating our nerves. There's an evil villain in the story called glucose. When you adopt fasting and make it part of your life, your hunger just goes away. Ask anyone, any of my subscribers who are following me. Our appetites are gone. But there's just something even better. Fasting can lower glucose levels. And that is super important. When you fast, especially for an extended period of time, like my 23-hour daily fasting, your body starts to deplete its glycogen stores, keeping glucose at a minimum. You may ask why getting rid of glucose is vital for remyelination. Well, it's tricky. Even though glucose plays a vital role in normal brain function and energy and metabolism, it's not the full story for us. Persistent and excessive glucose levels, like with the typical American diet, can lead to detrimental effects on remyelination in 3 distinct ways. 1. The osmotic stress that glucose triggers can interfere with the ability of oligodendrocyte precursor cells to differentiate into mature oligodendrocytes. 2. Excess glucose levels can lead to mitochondrial dysfunction. This negative impact the capacity of oligodendrocyte precursor cells to generate new myelin. And 3. Glucose triggers an inflammatory response. This inhibits the recruitment, differentiation, and functionality of cells involved in remyelination, including oligodendrocyte precursor cells. So when I look at my diet, it's not completely glucose free. Nobody's is. It's impossible. but I wanted to lower it as much as possible. So I went to my general practitioner and asked if I should go on a drug called metformin, which is used for patients with type 2 diabetes to lower blood glucose levels. Well, I must have lit a match under his feet, because he became so infuriated simply by me asking. He looked up my blood glucose level and at my last blood draw and said if I were to take metformin, there would be no doubt it would cause me to become hypoglycemic. Low blood sugar is no joke and comes with a lot of negative symptoms. He said I was hovering on the low side of the glucose scale, so drugs were definitely not needed. I felt a little embarrassed by asking him, but it relieved my mind that I was in the spot I wanted to be. Do you know your blood glucose level? If you don't, do you want to guess if they are high or low? Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a video. Until the next one,